Well, hello and welcome to another day. Today is the 20th of May, year 2020, and we are having this whole month, profiling and listening to life transforming testimonies from uh, disciples, from mentees, and from followers of Dr. Sunday who have been impacted either by his life they've been impacted by his teachings, his books, his messages. And Dr. Sunday on the 28th of May will be celebrating his 53rd birthday. And to commemorate that, he decided to invite just some. We know we have even much more people who have transforming testimonies, but just a few, who would be willing, to just come live to share their journey, to share their processes, and to share, the testimonies that they have in their lives and, in the lives of the people they've been able to touch. And my name is Anu Ojo, and I'm your host today, and I'm excited to be here. And as you join us on Facebook and on YouTube, on every platform, I want to say welcome to you. And I would like to encourage you to please go ahead and share. If you're watching on Facebook, you could share this video on your timeline. Your friends will be able to see it. You could also suggest it privately to your friends or to your family members for them to join today's broadcast. And if you're watching us on YouTube, thank you for joining us. You could share this YouTube link to your friends also for them to join in today's discussion. It's been an amazing journey, I must say. And if today happens to be your very first day joining this live broadcast, well, I want to say thank you for joining us. And I also want to say that you've missed a whole lot. You've missed a lot of testimonies, life transforming testimonies from a lot of people. But hey, you could actually go back because all of the videos are recorded and they are available on Dr. Sunday's YouTube channel. That is Dr. Sunday Adelaja. So all you need to do is to go to YouTube, search for Dr. Sunday Adelaja, and search for the playlist that is titled Life Transforming Testimonies. And there you will be able to see all of the previous recordings that we've had, with people sharing their testimonies and their life journey. Yesterday we had a phenomenal story, and today we are going to listen to another lady who will be sharing with us our own journey. And today's title is also very interesting, and it says how I stopped living a lazy and a wasteful life. The question is, how many of us are still living, lazy and wasteful lives? But I think we're privileged today to have someone who was once, in that position, who was once living this kind of life, but today she's transformed herself to a whole new personality. And she is making impact, and she's transforming lives, doing a lot of things right now that you would never even think that she ever lived once a lazy and a wasteful life. Just trying to compare who she is right now, that there's been a massive transformation in her life, and which has also taken effect in the lives of the people that she's mentoring, she's leading, and she's training. Well, I have today with me, on this program, Mrs. Maltida Susan. You are welcome, ma. Good evening to you from Kyiv, Ukraine.
Hi, Dr. Hanu. Thank you for having me to this program.
Wow,
Thank you for having me. I'm so honored to be here to
awesome.
share my testimony to everybody watching.
Awesome. I couldn't just hold back my smile just looking at how colorful you look. You know, there's no one who sees the bright colors that you're on right now. That it just brings joy. So you bring smile to my face. Thanks for doing that.
Thank you. I'm following I'm trying to step into DS's foot. So he's a colorful man, so I'm trying to be a colorful woman too. So
Beautiful.
I'm just following my mentor.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, you're welcome today to today's show, and I'm sure our viewers, are interested in meeting you. So, can you please introduce yourself to us?
Okay, as you said, my name is Matilda Susan Carbo Buckner for people. I usually on my Facebook it's just Matilda Susan there. I'm in Canada right now. I'm a Sierra Leonean. I was born there and I moved to Canada about 16 years ago. Married and have two beautiful children here in Canada. And also, I work in the frontline work. I'm a nurse. And yeah, it's been it's been really rough. Like when I moved here, first of all, I I didn't finish school when I moved to Canada. I needed that. I was gonna do something of my life. So yeah, so I'll have to stop there for now. I don't know.
Well, thank you for that. One of the things that I try to reiterate, during these programs is the value and the importance of the process of becoming. Because I've come to learn that until we learn to appreciate the process, we will think life is just all about results. And
Right.
when we see people's results, we oftentimes don't really know and we don't understand what it took for them to get to where they are. The process is mostly in the factory. You just see the car, you just see the house, you just see the end product, and you get attracted to it. You're like, wow, this looks good. This car looks good. Look at all of the engine and everything. So, everybody appreciates the end product of a process, but for you to be able to replicate or to produce a similar result, then you have to look beyond the end product. For you to be able to produce whatever you see or reproduce whatever you see, then you must be conversant with the process that led to that end result. So take, for example, I see a very beautiful Porsche. Looking all good, and I love the car, but the best I can just do is to appreciate the car or maybe buy it, but I can't reproduce it. I can't make that kind of car. But for me to be able to reproduce that result and to reproduce that product, then I have to go to the Porsche company, and then I have to see all of the processes, what has gone in between to bring that kind of result that makes everybody like go, wow, this is looking good. Now, coming to our lives as individuals, we see someone like Dr. Sunday who has achieved a lot of things, and we really get attracted to his success. We get attracted to his achievements, and very few people really understand the process that he had to take to bring him to that place where he is. And the same thing with our lives as individuals. So for example, people see you, they see you coming out live every day, or and then they see, wow, this lady is, she's bold, she's courageous, she's having a lot of influence, but they have no idea
What it takes. Yeah.
they have no idea of what it takes. And oftentimes they just feel like, oh, if she's doing it, I can do it. Then they try to do it, and maybe 1 week, 2 weeks, they get tired and they're like, I can't continue. So, one of the greatest benefits of all of these testimonies we've been having for the past 20 days is for us to, see what is behind the scene, to
Mm.
understand the process that some people had to go through. We understand that the process includes everything, the good times and the bad times. It includes
Right.
the victories and then the losses and then the defeats. It includes the time where we were crying and we thought, man, the only thing that is left is for us to give up. And there were also times where we said, oh, we're not ready to give up now. We have to keep moving. It's a
Right.
mixture of all of that. And I think it's the beauty of the result that we get in life is from those processes that we went through, all of this, good times and bad times, rough times and, smooth times. And what we do is just we get people who are willing to share their testimonies like you've come today for us to give us, a perspective into their own unique journey, the processes they had to go through to become who they are right now. Perhaps we could learn one or two things from their journey that could help us in ours too. And that is exactly why we have you here. And we hope that you would, be willing to share your journey, your process with us so we could learn from you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Anu. So, basically, my process, how did I get here? Um, I started like the beginning of me. I went through a divorce. First of all, I was in an abusive relationship where it was mentally, emotionally, and everything. And also, I lost my mom, which was she was a really best friend to me.
I'm here. So you said you were born in Sierra Leone, right?
Yes, I was born in Sierra Leone.
So
Yeah.
you were born and you grew up in Sierra Leone.
Yes,
And then you
correct.
left Sierra Leone to Canada at age 16, if I remember.
Yeah, I was 16. Yep.
Good. So you left Canada for what? Was it for study or what was the reason?
Well, there was war in my country for a lot of people that know. There was a civil war, blood diamond fighting that was going on. So
Yeah.
that forced me to kind of leave the country. So I left the country for a neighboring country. I went first of all to the Gambia. I stayed in the Gambia for like a couple of months. And then from there, I moved to Senegal. I stayed in Senegal for almost like 5 years. And luckily my brother uh, went into the internet looking for like a sponsor to help us out. So actually I was not supposed to come to Canada. The program that my brother found was I was supposed to go to Norway. So they wanted to sponsor us to Norway, but it didn't work out, and all of a sudden the Canada program came, and they were looking for me because since I was young, and they wanted a help from the church. So then everything just switched. And then when 9/11 came, everything kind of slowed on the program, right? So, and then later on, the lady, she was committed to help us. She never gave up. So that was the process. And then she sponsored like my whole family, my brother and my sister sponsor us, and we moved to Canada like 2004. She's a white lady. She's a Canadian. This lady, she's a Canadian. Is a church. It's the first Presbyterian church here in Thunder Bay. So
Okay.
they came together and they sponsored like my whole family to come over, and then we moved. But she's late right now. She passed away a couple years ago. But she was a committed woman. She was gonna help us, and she helped us, and we moved here in Thunder Bay.
How did you find that? You said your brother was searched on the
Through the
internet.
internet. I don't know how what he was doing. He was looking through, and then he saw this lady, and he started talking to this lady, and he told the lady about our story. Like, oh, I have my sisters here, and we're stranded here in Senegal. We want a better life, and she got moved by our story. So yeah, and then she's like, okay, I'll help you guys. Like, no, he was actually gonna help me and my sister, and then later on help my brother, but he was just fall in love with me. It's like, yeah, I'll help you and your sisters. I'll sponsor you guys to come to Canada. But my brother did everything. I was just behind the scene. He just fall in love with me, and then he ended up helping my brother and me and some other people too. Yeah, it was some sweet lady. I know.
This is interesting.
Yeah,
So, but she didn't know your brother from anywhere. She didn't know you guys
no,
from
he
anywhere.
didn't know us nowhere from the internet. He just fall in love with my family, and he was committed to help my family.
Is such an angel.
I'm telling you, she's an angel. If you
Wow.
see her in person, not he also helped a lot of people from the Burma, the Burmese.
Yeah.
He helped like hundreds of them. Like she was just an angel. She was just helping people. Like all of the Burma right now in Thunder Bay, she helped all of them, like over 100 of people, families, different families, not only one people, like 100 families. That's how awesome she was.
I just want to meet that woman and just have a conversation with her. Like I'm talking with you right now. I feel like I should just have a conversation to her to really meet her and to first to hug her and to,
Hmm.
to just understand, to ask her questions to know what kind of heart do you have?
I know.
You know, because it's rare to meet those kind of people.
Yeah, it's real. Yeah.
Wow.
She's an angel. Like even when you meet with her, you say she was so dedicated woman. That's how she was. She'll help anybody. Even though she was sick, she had cancer. She passed away of cancer. She she will be in pain, but she will still get out of her sick bed. She worried about everybody, even when she was passing to the last time, because during that time I was going through some abuse in my relationship and stuff. She was still in the hospital sick. She's worried about me. How are you gonna leave? What's
An
going on with you and
angel.
your husband? Blah, 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 blah. That was my first relationship, and she till she was passing, she was still wants to know how she can fix it, how what she can do to help. That's
Wow.
everybody. She
Bless
does it not
her
only for me, for
soul.
everybody.
It's fascinating. That all by itself, I'm just endeared to her. You know, just wanting to help people that you do
Hmm.
not know. Because it's very easy. Because no, what really gets my attention to just this part of your story, it is because it's understandable if you have an aunt there in Canada and she's like, oh,
Hmm.
I have a niece, I have a nephew back in
Yep.
Sierra Leone and I want to help them, because they're my family members and I want to. I get that. But this is a white Canadian woman who just met someone on the internet who was sharing his own story, his challenges, and she reached out, helped not just you and your family, but you said she helped over hundreds of people to get out,
Families, like
and
even more.
families, not even just individuals.
Mhm.
She is the definition of a blessing. Wow, that's amazing. I mean, bless her soul. Bless, bless,
You know,
bless
I
her
know she's
soul.
in heaven,
Yeah, of
definitely, because the kind
course.
of heart she have, like,
Of course, because that is love in demonstration.
mhm,
That is love. That is the heart of love. That's powerful. So she got you and your family out of Senegal, right?
yeah,
And then she brought you to Thunder Bay in Canada.
yeah.
Good. So what happened after that?
So what happened after that? Like she knew I wanted to go back to school, and she know how hardworking I was, so she was never gonna leave me. So when I left Sierra Leone, I never finished my school. I never finished high school. I didn't complete my high school at all. So I came back. You need to go back to school. It's like, yeah, that's a good idea. I went back to school. I did upgrading. I upgraded myself till I get like my high school diploma. And then I did a lot of training, and I did my nursing. Well, first of all, before I did my nursing, I went and did like sciences, because you need to have that background with sciences. So I did a program that does all sciences. I finished it, went into nursing, did that, and then I started working. So there was a process. Like I had to start from scratch, like school basically. And then I went through that. And like a lot of people surprised, like, how did you do that? They couldn't believe it, because when I went into my nursing, I'm gonna share this story, like, for anybody that's listening. When I went into my nursing, that time I just got married, and like my first marriage, and I was 9 months pregnant when I started my nursing. That's how dedicated I was. I was 9 months pregnant
How
when I started my nursing.
you are set to deliver.
Yes, I was 9 months, and I walked into the classroom, and everybody were looking at me like, "You're crazy. What are you doing here?" You, and then that didn't end. They People think that I was gonna drop out of the program, and because the program was so intense that you have to be really dedicated, and you have to work really hard. And I finished it. And the other thing too, I had my baby. 2 days after having my baby, I went back to class, and everybody saw me. They were
No,
like,
no,
"Are you for real?"
no. Did
Yeah,
you just say 2 days after your?
I
No.
had my baby. I went back to class the next day. Yeah,
No, no, that's, if someone told me that, I was going to
my
say no,
teacher,
that's a
they asked
lie.
me to leave. They said, "You're not gonna pass out here. You just had a baby." I said, "Yeah, I know." It's like, "You're fresh. Like, you need to go home and rest." It's like, "No, I'm here. I'm in class. I'm gonna come for lecture." It's like, "No, I don't want you to pass out here." It's like, "I'm not gonna pass out. I'm okay. Every day I go to class every day till I finish."
Looking at you right now, and I'm just stunned.
Yeah,
I'm just stunned. What?
that's a
How
dedication.
did you do that? What made you 9 months
I was just
go to
determined.
school? I mean, 2 days after childbirth, you're back.
I was just determined. I wanted a better life for my kids, and I wanted better. So it's like, no, even though they tried to get me out of the school, they tried, like, even the coordinator, the program coordinator, they tried all kind of way for me to get home. I said, "I'm not going anywhere." They told me, "You need to go home, take care of your child." I said, "No, don't worry, my child will take care of itself. There's somebody who's going to take care of my child. I'm coming to school."
You were
They
just
tried to get me out
determined.
of the program. They couldn't. I said I was not going anywhere.
Wow. Let's take a pause right there. All right. We're going to come to that story momentarily, but let's go back to where we're coming from. So you got to Canada, and because you lost a lot of years, trying to move, so you couldn't go to school and all of that. So it
Hmm.
took you to the point where you were in school, and then you started upgrading yourself. But tell us, if you don't mind, you made mention about your marriage, your first marriage, and stuff. Do you mind if you want to share that, and maybe some of the lessons you learned from that?
Um, like, for that marriage, that I've learned over these years, like reading DS's book and stuff, I was never prepared for it. The my uh,
Prepared.
Yeah, I was not never prepared for it. Like, a lot of the things that I know now, I never knew it then. And also, he was not prepared, although he was matured enough. And the reason too that I went into that marriage, like, African, "Oh, you're getting older, you need to find a man," huh? All the kind of stuff. Like, so that kind of also pushed me into getting married, right?
I didn't get that.
Oh, like, when like African home,
Yeah.
when you get to certain age, they want you to get a man, right?
Yeah.
So that all kind of entail into me
Ah,
getting
the
into
pressure, the
marriage because of,
pressure.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that got me into it, but I was not I was not prepared at all. I didn't know what marriage was. I just want to get into it because of I was being pressured to do it at
Yeah.
that time. And I got into it, and then I found out that he was very like abusive. Like the way he was talking to me, the way he was doing things, it was all wrong, and I didn't really wanted to live that life anymore. So I had to get out of the relationship. It's like, you know what, this is not the life I want. I wanted somebody to treat me better, somebody to treat me good. So I end up leave the it actually gets into the point that it was physical, because before it was like emotionally, like then it gets into physical. When he got into physical, that's the time I said, okay, that's enough. I'm done. And that time I was still in school. I was going through school when that was happening too. I just had a baby. The baby was like a year old by then when all of
From
this happened.
from him.
Say that again.
I say so you guys got married and then you got a baby from him already.
Yeah.
Wow. Let's dwell a little bit on this because you've hit a very sensitive point, And if you don't mind, it will be good for us to just stay a little on this, because you mentioned the kind of pressure that a lot of people get, especially ladies, that hey, you're getting of age, you need to get married and all of that, and what ladies, and not just ladies but even guys get it, all right, but what a lot of people get is just the pressure to just get married, right? And like you said, just little or no emphasis is laid on the role of preparation, why you need to get prepared for marriage. Now, you haven't gone through that, getting into marriage unprepared. From your own personal experience, how let's start from the place of pressure, right? That people put on ladies on the need to get married before a certain age. What is your own, take on it, and what would you say now that you have an opportunity to address it? How would you address the pressure that family members, put on young ladies or young men that they have to get married because they're trying to race against the clock?
What I will say about that, don't follow the pressure, because like a lot of people will come pressure. Don't look at that, because if you're not prepared for it, you go into a marriage, it's going to be really stressful. Like there's going to be psychological things that's going to happen to you when you're not prepared. You have to be prepared, like mentally you have to be prepared for marriage. Financially you have to be prepared for marriage, and if you're not mentally and financially prepared for marriage, you go into the marriage, there is always going to be chaos. There is always going to be chaotic in that marriage because of you are not prepared for it. But when you're mentally prepared for it and financially prepared for it, like everything is not going to be 100% smooth, but it will be uh, um 10 times or 20 times better than when you are not prepared for marriage. So don't look at the pressure. Make sure that you are mentally ready for it and you are financially ready for it. If you're not mentally and financially ready for it, I do not encourage you to even go and even look at a woman, because it's just going to be a chaotic situation. It's just going to be too much headache and fighting all the time, constantly because of that. So take care of your mental state first and your financial state, and that's then you can say, okay, I'm kind of a little bit ready. Like that is a preparation, at least I would say.
This just apply to the guys, or it applies to the ladies too?
For men,
Yeah.
both of I will say for men, you gotta be like mentally and financially for sure that, and for women, also you have to be mentally and financially also, and also you have to be independent. For women, you have to be independent. Don't rely on a man, because if you say I'm gonna get married, why? Because because you never know if you're gonna be dependent on that man.
Mm-hmm.
You it's just going to be too much in that man. You have to be self independent on your own as a woman.
Got
Say,
it.
hey, if my husband can take care of me, that's fine. But if my husband can't take care of me, I'm still will be able to take care of myself.
Got it.
Don't put all of the burden on the man, because sometimes it's too much pressure. It's too much pressure on the man also when you're putting that you have to take, like the man might have to take care of you, might have to take care of your family. That is too much. But if the woman is getting something going on for herself, that is less burden on the man. That's not too much pressure on the man. But you can just, and in life as a woman you have to do something. Everybody have to do something. When you look at the in the Garden of Eden, Adam and Eve, Adam, Eve was doing something. It was just not sitting and not doing anything. You have to do something as a human being, because God created you as a woman to serve a purpose, to do something here on earth. And you can't just say, hey, I'm just going to stay home, just have kids and take care of my husband. That's just doesn't cut it. You have to do more than that, because that is just not life. Just to have children and be married, that's not enough. You have to do more than that. You have to, because there, you are so loaded with a lot of things in you that God, you have people need it. You can just say, I'm just going to start it with me and not do that. So you have to get and unleash that potential that is inside of you, not just say, I'm just a woman, I'm just going to have a child and raise kids. That's it.
Wow, amazing. That is powerful. And so you covered both, the place of preparation and the need for, both to be emotionally, mentally and financially prepared for marriage. Dr. Sunday says this, and I want to know if you agree to it or if you uh, have a dispute with it. He says, if you think you have problems now, right? If you think you have challenges and issues as a single person, either you're a bachelor or a spinster, and you think, oh, I have a lot of problems now. He says that when you get married, your,
Same time.
your problem multiplies 10 times. I'm not married myself. So what you've gone through that, at least
Yeah.
with that. So what do you have to say? Do you agree with that, or maybe he's wrong?
For me, what I will say, like I'm married, like I'm happy and everything. When you get married, like for me, maybe if I have to redo it again, I probably I don't know, maybe I shouldn't say this, but getting
So please.
getting married is a lot of work. Being single is the best life, I would say. because
I think,
because now that I'm married, I
yeah.
have to take care of the kids. I have to take care of a husband. When I'm single, I just have to worry about myself, right? And also, you're able to do so much more thing when you're single, when you're married. Because now, if you want to do anything, if I have to move, I have to consider my children. I have to consider my husband. But when I'm by myself, I can move. I can do whatever I want. So, marriage, you have to, before getting there, you have to think of all of these things. You have to think of all these things, because it's not an easy thing. People think that it's easy, but it's not easy at all, because you always have to constantly. Um, that's why Paul said, he said, if you can stay away from it, because it's a lot of work. It's not
Hmm.
easy at all. It's not easy. Like, no, I'm not discouraging people here not to go get married, but I'm just telling you
You just
that
you just need you're
it's
just
a lot
stating the
of work.
facts.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. It's not easy. There's always, you gotta, communication is one other thing. If communication is lack in the relationship, oh my God, that's a lot of problem also. There's a lot of things you have to put in place, and if you do not put, even though some people are prepared to put these things in place, there's still problem. They're still fighting there. So like, I don't know, like, it's crazy. It's not easy. I'm just saying, I'm not discouraging anybody. You can go and get married, but I'm just telling you, just be prepared. Prepared.
And that's the
Prepared
point.
is the key. Preparation is the key. Even though you prepared, there's still gonna be trials and tribulation in the marriage. But that will help you to overcome them if you made good enough preparation.
Yeah. So marriage is not something that you want to rush in. You know,
No,
it's something that you want to take your time
take your time and
to
do
prepare into it. Well, we're learning. We're learning. We're learning, and Dr. Sunday has done so great job. Uh, I was telling a friend of mine recently that I was listening to, I was doing some self education on how to parent, you know, I think it was from 0 to 3, and the person was like, "What? You're learning how to parent? I mean, you at least first get let's get a fiance or something, get a girlfriend, and then get the why you concerned about parenting?" But I've heard so many stories, and I know that it's you're better prepared, than
Oh yeah.
than you just get into it and then you're like, whoo, now I have a human being to take care of, or whoo,
Mm-hmm.
there's another person now I have to train. So it's good that you prepare. And the good thing is that Dr. Sunday has an exhaustive, I'm just thinking about it and I'm like, well, if the world, if the world would only know that there is a place like that where anything and everything that as relates to family, relationship, understanding, both the man and the woman, everything is all in one place.
Mm-hmm.
Just the family series, on Dr.
Yeah.
Sunday's YouTube channel, that everything you need to know about
Yeah.
what it means to understand, opposite sex. First, to understand yourself as a man or as a woman, and then to
Mm-hmm.
understand the opposite sex, what it needs, the differences between the men and the women, what it means to be prepared for marriage, looking at it from the perspective of a man and then a woman, and then
Right.
what a man expects from his wife, what the woman expects from the
Woman.
wife,
Yeah.
I mean, what is love, trying to understand, true love, what makes love turn to hate, and then to the point of parenting, how to be a friend to your child, how to parent, a child from 0 to 3, and then from 5, and all of that, and then as a man, how to prepare, for marriage, how to prepare for the birth of your child, how to prepare your woman, and I'm like, everything you basically need to have a
It's
successful marriage, you can get it. Can you
Yep.
believe some people don't even know that they can get it?
They don't even know it exists. Yep.
Well, guys, let me tell you, the good news is that right now it's free. You can
Mm-hmm.
go to Dr. Sunday's YouTube channel. Very easy. Just go there, search for Dr. Sunday Adelaja on YouTube. You will do yourself a whole great benefit. Huge gift to give yourself and to your family members. Just go search for family series. Simple family series on Dr. Sunday's channel. Search for it. I've not seen anyone who has listened to that series and did not come and say, "My God, my eyes are open, my relationship is changed, now I understand myself." Everybody, who has ears that can hear, and a heart ready to listen, it will open your eyes to see certain realities that, it will minimize your chance of making errors and making mistakes as it relates to, marriage, relationship, family. So I just thought it was a good place for me to talk about this. I don't know, Mrs. Matilda, I don't know, have you listened to the family series?
Yeah, I've listened to the final series, and when um yes, it was held in its like live. I listened its the live broadcast also, like when he was doing, and my mind was like one of them. I will talk about like a woman that never grew up with a father, like in one of his series, and like what happened, how these people act, and also a mama's boy and all that kind of thing. I listened to the whole series and I was blown. And some of the things highlighted in me, and it was it's like, oh, maybe that's why I behave like this. Like some of the things that he was highlighting in that series, like, yeah, oh, now I see. That's why, like, so much light was coming. Yeah, I was like, okay, now I understand why I behave this way, why this happened this way. Yeah, it's a really, I recommend that series for people to watch it. It's a mind blowing series, and if you watch it, you will understand, and you will treat, if you're a man, you will treat your wife better. You will treat your children better. If you are a woman, you will know how men think and how they act, and that will help you when you see them act certain kind of way. You will say, oh yeah, yeah, I know how to handle it. So it's a really good series that I recommend to people to watch that.
I mean, you
And
shouldn't.
also for raising your kids too. Like
Yes,
it's amazing.
yes.
Like from birth, like even helping your woman with your children, everything is there too. That will help you for uh like first dad or first mom. That will help you to train and put so much values and so much things into your child, that your child will come out to become best, like good child, because you've put them, because it takes like the younger age, that's the time you have to impact, it puts a lot of things in them. And if you don't, there's a critical age, and yes, it was talking about, I think from the baby till they're 5 or 7 years old, that you need to put so much in them. And once you put that so much, when they grow up, it already instilled in them, and they won't depart from it, if I will put it that way.
No, personally, I think you shouldn't. Anyone who who really is interested in having a successful relationship, successful marriage, successful parenting,
Mhm.
you shouldn't live on this planet without listening to those series. You shouldn't. That would be a huge disservice to yourself, you know. But leaving that topic, all right, let's continue. So you were in a relationship, and which you described as, an abusive one, sadly so. And you said you had to leave the relationship. You had to get a divorce, right?
Right.
If you don't mind, uh, I'd like to ask you some questions as regards that too.
Sure.
Good, thank you. Uh, there are a lot of ladies like you who are currently in relationships that they would describe as, abusive. Um, Whatever ramification that could be, it could be either emotional, it could be either, physical, whatever. But then an abusive relationship. But they desire to go to to get out of those relationships, but they can't, uh, for many reasons. Many might think, especially those people who are back in Africa, in Nigeria, if you leave your husband, you become like the object of mockery. People start mocking you. People start saying that, oh, you can't keep a home. You're not woman enough. A lot of
Hmm.
shame that comes with that. And even maybe as an individual, you're thinking, okay, if I leave now this marriage, will I ever find somebody to get married with me? And many other reasons why ladies find it difficult to to leave those kind of relationships. Well, you were able to get out of it. Thanks be to God. And I feel like you are in a better position to speak to ladies who are um, in that kind of situation, and maybe they might stumble on this video either today or maybe sometime in the future. I want you, from your own experience, to maybe give some words or maybe some guidance, some direction to ladies like that on how they can get their freedom just as you did.
Okay, for me, what made me got out of the relationship when he gets into, like, I had the same mindset as them. Said, hey, people gonna call me names. I left my relationship. I'm not a good woman and all that kind of stuff. But what dawned on me one time, I was like I told you, I was going to school during that time because it was so much stress, and I was driving. This what the wake up call came for me. I was driving and I went through a red light without realizing. And luckily, there was no car coming. And I went to school and I thought about it. It's like, oh my God, what kind of life is this? Like, what kind of life is this? Is this how my life is going to be till I die? Like, I don't want this life. I don't want it. I want a better life. I want to be loved. I want to come home and not driving through a red light. I almost lost my life. So that was a wake up call for me. And I went home and I said, you know what? I'm done. I'm done. So we were kind of wrestling and God kind of intervened somehow, I will say. And I had to, like, he lay his hands on me basically. And I don't know what happened. I just got off the floor and I grabbed the phone and I dialed 911. I was not proud of that. That kind of helped the process also. And then the police came and said what happened, and I explained he was there, so they have to take him. Said okay, we have to um, arrest you for domestic violence. I was not happy, and I was like, what have I done? But that kind of helped. So they took him away, they did whatever. He never came back. And I told him, and we went to court, and I said, you know what? This is what happened. I really don't want this kind of life anymore. I really want to be happy because my kids were not happy. There was always yelling at the home, there was never peace at home. So I just said I was done. And I make up my mind. People try to come, like family try to come and say you have to stay with. There's no divorce in our family. There's all kind of thing. They preach everything to me. I say I know it, but I'm not happy. What's the point of me being in this relationship when I'm not happy? There's always fighting. I've tried everything. We've talked to pastors. Uh, we've gone through some semi kind of counseling. It's not working. We try to hang out, not working. I said, that's it. I want. I went out. He went in separate ways. He was not happy about it. I went my separate ways. I continue with my school. I keep on developing myself, and that's how it ended. I focus and I focus on like education. There was something, and the other thing too that helped me, I find God. So I lean on God. That kind of helped me a little bit. I was so much close that make me passionate about God, even though I was going the wrong places about it for help. But still, I was my heart was in the right place, like going seek help from God to help me internally. So that kind of helped. And also I had a purpose, so that will help you too. If you don't have a purpose, that will kind of frustrate you, that will kind of just destroy you, want to commit suicide and stuff. So I was focused on my school and I was focused on God. So those two things kind of helped me to get out of it. If I might put it that way. So you need to have be a friend of God when you're going through the kind of situation, and also find something to do to distract you from all the chaos that's happening. So that's
Wow,
how I got myself out of.
that is definitely helpful. And you started by with your response. You started by saying that you were not going to sacrifice your joy, your happiness on the altar of public opinion and what
Mhm.
people were expecting from you. You were like, I'm not happy here. I'm not fulfilled. I have no joy. I'm not going to sacrifice that just to make you happy. and just to
Right,
make you feel.
exactly.
And I think that's a very, important, uh, point that anyone who is going through the same thing must, you must get to that point where you decide, not to sacrifice your life, your joy and your happiness and your fulfillment to please other people or to please a certain person. You have to
Yeah.
you have to just give that value to yourself, the way God values you.
Mhm.
You have to exalt, you know, your estimation of yourself, that you're valuable and you deserve to be happy, you deserve to have joy,
Exactly.
you deserve to be fulfilled, and nobody should rob you of that.
Right.
And that's really powerful. And some of the things you also said, I think they are really, really strong. The power of focus. You were focused on God and you were focused on building yourself, developing yourself on education. And I think that's something that is missing, with a lot of people who are trying to go, because as long as you're focused on the pain, as long as you're focused on other people, as long as you're focused on what my mom or my dad would say, what my uncle or my
Exactly.
aunt would say, then you still keep yourself in that place where you feel incapacitated. But
Right.
when you, just like what you said, when you begin to focus on God, you get strength from Him, you get the comfort from Him, you get the love from Him, you get, your esteem from Him, and also you're focusing on working on yourself, you're focusing on, building yourself. That develops your strength from within, and it makes
Mhm.
you being able to, it just strengthens your willpower to make
Right.
those decisions, and that's powerful. And I want to appreciate you for saying all of that, because I want to hope and believe that somebody would have been helped by listening to you. And that's something amazing. Think about this. Would you have been able to, some of these very powerful points you gave, do you think you would have understood them the way you do understand them if you didn't go through that pain and through that process?
Can you say that again?
You know, I asked you a question right now about what you have
Hmm.
to say to people who might be going through the same thing that you went through. Now, I'm not
Right.
saying that having gone through that and with the answer that you gave, would you have, with the level of understanding and with the level of confidence that you used to speak right now with your response, would you have that if you hadn't gone through that experience? Or was that experience sort of helpful to help you, come up with all this understanding?
Yeah, that's one part of it. Like, because I went through that, that kind of helped me. And also the other thing that helped me to understand most of the things that I went through is because I read some books from Dr. Sunday, like from his videos. So that gets me bigger understanding, I would say, like more understanding. Said, okay, yeah, this is what it is. So that I will say. So from self education plus what I went through kind of helped me into understanding and giving this kind of response that I responded.
I asked that question for this reason, and I was very intentional about it, because, you know, uh, there there are three kind of experiences. There are your personal experience, where you go through. Then there's an
Hmm.
experience, when you see what another person goes through. Like, for
Right.
example, this person, not you, but you witnessed. You saw what another person go through, and then you're able to learn from it. That's like a second-hand experience. And then
Hmm.
there's the third experience, where it is not you and it is not somebody that that you saw that went through it, but maybe it's a story, like you just heard from somewhere that somebody went through that experience. So that's a third experience. And personally, what I think is there's a lot that we can learn from personal experiences, right?
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
oftentimes, it's always good to learn from the story of others.
Right. Right.
Is good to learn from, the pain of others and the experience of others, so that we don't repeat them.
Hmm.
And just like you rightly said, of course there are two sides to it. There are the things that you learned from that experience yourself, and also a lot that you learned from reading the books of Dr. Sunday that helped you, get a better understanding. And I think to our viewers who are listening, I mean, here is somebody, right, who has gone through the same experience, all right, and she's gone through it already. So I would like to encourage everybody who's listening who might be going through the same situation right now to please hold on to the advice that this beautiful lady has given to us today, Mrs. Maltida, and hold on to it and try to work with it. And also, she said, self-education really helped her, and that would also help you. Dr. Sunday has a lot of books, that relates to family, to relationship, to self-esteem, to knowing yourself, knowing your purpose, all of that. So it would be good if you can go get those books and equip yourself, to make yourself stronger, and so for you to be a better person. And if you're watching and you're asking, okay, how can I get these books? It's easy. You can get the books on Amazon. You could get it on Okada Books. You could get it on BAM Books. So all of these platforms, Dr. Sunday has his books there. You could order for them there and, yeah, get it good to read. All right. So, Mrs. Maltida, I'm coming back to you now, and I want to understand now. At what point did you ever live a lazy and wasteful life? How did you get out? Because what I'm hearing so far is someone who is dedicated, someone who is hardworking, wanting to, you were pregnant and you went to work and all of that, to school. Tell us, how are you living a lazy life and a wasteful life?
So, like you guys may think that, like, given all my story, that you're hardworking, but no. F- First of all, I didn't know what my purpose was. Even though I was doing all those things, I didn't know why I was called. I don't know why I was living here on earth, what I was supposed to be doing. And even though I was chasing education, I was following God and all the things, but I didn't know the specific reason why God created me. And the one thing that kind of help, I don't know if you might go into it, but maybe I'm gonna get ahead of you. Um, when I went to HMT, I don't know if you're gonna come with that. I went to HMT training.
Training. You came
Yeah,
to the History
history
Makers
maker
training
training.
in Kiev.
That's, yeah, in Kiev. I went there in 2018. The how to transform or develop civilized nation, I believe that was the title of it. I went there, and during that training, I found out that even though I was working hard, I was not working at all.
Interesting. Even though you were working hard, you were not working at all.
No, I was not doing what I was called to do. Like, even though I was doing all those things, but I found out no, I was far off from what I was called to do and what God wanted me to do here on earth. And one of the things that I found out that DSN made clear doing that, that really highlighted doing that the earth, the land was cursed for us, and we were supposed to redeem that land because it was cursed for us. So, and I was like, what was I doing to redeem the land? I was just focused on myself at that time. I was not focused on saving other people. I was not focused on helping. I probably might be helping other people, but I was not doing it purposefully. That, hey, I was supposed to be a servant to people. So I was not doing all of that. I was lacking that area, even though I was developing myself, but I was lacking the other aspect of it, like helping people, changing life. Like, if you see a society, something is happening, you're supposed to bring solution to it. I didn't have that mindset. So that's why I said, what was I doing all this time? If all of these information that I had now, if I had it before, that would have made me even more productive than I'm already I am, because I will be channeling my thing based on my calling, my purpose, and in life here, and I was not doing that. Even one of the reasons I have to go back to school because of that, because now I started finding it's like, oh my God, I was called to do this, because now I started noticing a lot of things in the society that I was not noticing before. I was walking past them, seeing them. I was like, oh, that's not my problem. I'm living a good life, that's all. But now I'm noticing a lot of things. And then DSA have made that we're responsible. God is making us responsible to do those things, and I was not doing that. So that's why I said that I was lazy, even though I was doing, but I was really lazy because a lot of things I don't care about them. I was like, that's not my problem. That's somebody else's problem. And not knowing that, yes, you seen that problem, God wants you to bring solution to it. So I was not doing nothing when it comes to community, when it comes to like world things. I was not doing if that.
That is a wonderful perspective to, understanding hard work and laziness. Because, an average person would describe hard work like what you were doing, just trying to live for yourself, trying to work, go to school, get education and all of that. You're doing some activities. So most people would define hard work as being engaged in an activity, right? And you're doing that consistently and you're doing that diligently. But you brought in a whole new paradigm to hard work. That hard work isn't just about what you do for yourself, just wanting to live for yourself. But true hard work is the work that is done in the direction of the purpose for your existence, where
Right.
you've discovered the reason why you're here, and then you're channeling all of your efforts, channeling all of your strength towards the
Right.
fulfillment of that particular purpose. Then
Right.
you're really hardworking.
Hmm.
Now, if you're not doing that, then you're lazy. Just like you
Right.
said, if the purpose and if the problem that you're created to solve, you're not solving that problem, you're
Hmm.
lazy. Even if you're doing every other thing.
Right.
That is an interesting perspective to life. And that is like a wonderful understanding, that I need to discover my purpose and I must channel my life and I must do all that I can to fulfill that.
Yeah.
Wow. So that came after the HMT, after the History Makers training, or
Yes.
during.
That's kind of like it already started,
Yeah.
or like when listening to DSA before I went there, but that kind of just like come out like, oh, that kind of wake me up reels like, what have I been doing then? Even though I've been achieving these things, I've been doing this, but I was not doing really what God wanted me to do. Yeah.
The wasteful now. I want you to talk about the wasteful. So how did the wasteful part get into play?
The wasteful part, like
Yeah.
for me, like I was not like wasting time every day doing um not productive things. But now every time counts. Whatever I do, like I will be reading book every day. I have to read a book. I have to watch educational videos. So every minute I have to account for what I did. How did I pass this time? How did I pass this day? What did I do? So I'll be talking on the phone. Sometimes somebody will call me. I'll be making notes. I'll be doing something else. So it makes me become more productive. So I before I won't be able to multitask. But now I can multitask. I can be you be talking to me, I'll be making notes. Oh, I'll be reading something. And then you come back, oh, what did you say? And sometimes when I talk to my friends on the phone, they'll think that like I'll be listening, but they think that I'm not. And then I'll respond. It's like, oh, so you were listening. Of course, I was listening. But at the same time, I will be doing something. I'm always doing something. My kids like, why are you always on your computer? I'm always every minute I have to do something. So I'm not wasting my time anymore. I'm being productive. Like when I'm at work, I'm on my lunch break. I'll be reading a book or I'll be listening to something instead of hanging around gossiping and talking things that are not productive. I don't involve in those things anymore. I'd rather read a book, empower myself, or listen to an educational video like Pastor Sunday YouTube or somebody else that inspired me. I'll listen to it. I won't just not do anything like watch TV like people watch movie. I'm not saying you shouldn't watch movie, but if that movie is not gonna add value into me, I will not waste my time watching it. Like my kids will, like we have every Friday movie night. Movie nights. Okay, we have to find a movie that we're gonna learn something from it. If we're not gonna learn something from that movie, then I'm not gonna watch the movie. I have to learn something about it. So I'm not wasting my life anymore. Everything I do has to be educational. That will add value to my life.
Beautiful. So you're living an intentional life right now.
Right.
Wow, an intentional, a purposeful life, trying to convert every of your second, minutes, hour.
Hmm.
That is the superior life.
Yeah.
That is a superior life. Fantastic. So this was um, because of the understanding that you got by listening to Dr. Sunday's teachings and his materials. Can you
Hmm.
highlight some of the maybe books that helped you or the
Right.
teachings that helped you in, that shift from that lazy and wasteful life to where now you're living a productive and purposeful life?
Some like for people that are spiritual, for example, like for me, the prayer and deliverance, because I told you I was really close to God, like when I was going through my divorce and stuff, but I was channeling my prayer wrongly. And even the deliverance, they were trying to conduct on me, thinking that I have spiritual husband or whatever they were trying to do. That was wrong. So that series, the prayer, deliverance, and healing, I believe, series that helped me a lot. Yes, that series really helped me to do the shift, and also the paganism series to help me to do a shift, because what you talk about uh, how you're a pagan, and I found out that series that I was really a pagan. I was like, my God, that was a mind blowing for me. So how can I get out of that? That kind of helped me also. The truth series, that's a big one, that's a huge one. The truth series, that one kind of blew me, that kind of blew me out, because a lot of the things that I believed in, I end up like I was believing on the wrong things. So that also helped me. I would say that one did that. And also the thinking, the thinking, is it the thinking series, and also effective, how to be effective.
Thinking series and effective living, I guess.
Yeah, that ones too will help you uh, uh, greatly if you listen to those series. Those series like really helped me a lot. And also the other one, the uh, brainwashing one, because I also
Brainwa-
find out that I was being brainwashed by a lot of pastors,
The brainwashing and
and that one,
psychopath. Brainwashing and
yes,
psychopath series. Wow.
yeah, that
Powerful.
one also helped me to like, that helps me in my thinking process, and all of the things that I was going through, that also helped me with that. And for books, Who Am I is a big one. That's just few of it. There are a lot of videos too that I can just think of them off my head right now, but there are a lot of videos there on the YouTube channel that really helped. But those ones are the one that really spoke to me, that really healed me a lot. And also for books, uh, Who Am I was a one that helped me. Who Am I read it, and also The Church Shift was another one.
Good.
Kingdom Driven Life was another one that did it for me. Um, I'm just thinking off my head. I've read so many books, I can't even think of all of them.
Dear Lord.
uh,
Dear Lord.
um,
Dear Lord.
oh, um, Jesus,
You never knew.
the Jesus you never knew
The Jesus you
was
never
another
knew.
one too. That one actually, Jesus you never knew. That was one of them that I read that started speaking before I went to the club. That one started speaking to me a lot. That the Jesus you never knew. So how was I serving God before, and who is really Jesus? So that one helped me too. And the other one too, that helped me too, is the essence and value of life. That was a one too. The essence and value of life, that is a good one too, that helps me.
That
And the
book.
other one, the shallow-minded one, shallow-minded something, that one too helped me. Like, so those books, I read them, and it highlights so many things about my life, and then it started making the shift for me.
Beautiful.
Shift.
So you didn't
And
have to be
yeah,
going to, so you didn't go for breakthrough, you didn't go for any prayer,
deliverance.
or maybe
No,
Dr. Sunday laid his hands on you and give you some
nope,
special anointing or something.
nope. Just from reading his book, watching his videos, and things start falling off of me. Things start falling. My mindset start, like, even right now. Like, I find that some people don't get me the way I think, the process I think, because they're still in that. So it's like, why do you think like that? Because he have turned me into the way that everything I question, everything, and they ask me, why do you ask so much question? Because I want to get understanding and grab some stuff. And the other thing too, people say about me at work, they think I'm always a troublemaker, but I'm not really a troublemaker, because the way my mindset is, because Dr. Sunday have detoxified my brain and get all of those things out. So the way I think now, the way I analyze things, the way I respond to things is very different from the normal people. What I'll say, like,
You know,
regular
it is
people.
powerful. People understand. Yesterday we had a guest who she was saying that, you know, don't say you listen to Dr. Sunday or you follow him if you do not read his books, because
Mhm.
uh, you have read those books and you have experienced the transformation even just by yourself, you know, without even him doing any extra thing. Just you took those books that you mentioned, and by working with those books, working on them, you experience the transformation. And so people
Yeah.
don't understand why Dr. Sunday is so, you know, dedicated to writing books. You know, and I'm sure people had been asking him, Dr. Sunday, why do you write books? Well, you are a testament to that, why he writes books, you know,
Hmm.
because he has not, maybe, I'm sure he has not been to your house physically,
No.
but his books are there with you.
Oh yeah.
And you don't just have one
On my
of
computer,
everywhere.
in my house,
Yeah.
everywhere.
And Dr. Sunday can just be one. But right now you have Dr. Sunday in maybe 5, 10 places. So
Yeah.
with one book you get Dr. Sunday. With the second book you get Dr. Sunday. Third book you get Dr. Sunday. So you have him in many places without even
People ask
disturbing
me, why
him.
do you? There's one thing people ask, why all your books are Dr. Sunny? It's like, because that's the one that speaks to me. That's the one I know. So he was like, you don't read any other books, only from this man? It's like, yeah,
Because of the transformation you are getting.
yeah.
You know, Dr. Sunday decided to answer that question because people always ask him, why do you write books? You have a target to write 1,000 books before you
Hmm.
die. Why do you write books? Guess what? Dr. Sunday did not just answer with an article. He did not answer with just a video. Guess what? I'm sure you know exactly what he did. He wrote a book.
Yep.
He wrote a book.
I know. I saw that. I was like, this man.
He wrote
I
a
saw
book
that.
to answer that question.
I know.
So that is the book right there to all of our viewers. Dr. Sunday has answered your question. If you've been asking him, why do you write books? Here, Dr. Sunday is answering your question and he's saying, hey, I want to answer your question why I write books. And I'm not just stopping there, but I'm going to tell you also why you too should write your own book. You know, why you should write your book. So everyone, hey, the book is available right now. That is the book. That is the latest release by Dr. Sunday. Why I write books and why you too should write yours. You shouldn't leave this world without your book. You shouldn't. You shouldn't. At least you should have a book, you know, to communicate your thoughts, to communicate your beliefs. There's an experience that you have that nobody has had. Had that experience the way you've had it. That's a book. You know, there's something you've learned that could help somebody. That is a book right there. So this is available to everyone who wants to understand why Dr. Sunday is writing his books. And also, if you want to get inspired, you know, motivated to write your own book, then you want to get this book. It's available right now on Amazon. So you could go there, rush, get there, search for it, why I write books and why you too should write yours, and get the book. You understand that when you read the book, all right? So let me get back to our guest. I have another question, and I hope you're not tired of my questions. All right, so the next question I want to ask you, you know, now you've helped us to understand what it meant, you know, to be living a wasteful life, to be living a lazy life, and now you've helped us to understand how you were able to make that shift. You know, you attended the History Makers training, and that place, you know, anyone who has been to the History Makers training would know that there's absolutely nothing like that in the world. You know, the environments. I know if I give you, I think you've spoken about this before, and if I even give you the opportunity right now to talk about it, you're going to say a lot about it. But maybe in a word or two, can you just describe what it means to be in the History Makers training?
Wow. Uh, it's a place that you need to be. Because for me, when I went there, the atmosphere alone will start breaking off things off of you. Because the presence of God is so enriched in that place that things will fall off of you. Your mind will start shifting. Uh if you really go there to discover, if you're there just to go and be nosy and stuff, it won't do it for you. But if you go and you focus on what you're there for and you focus on God, you will have the answers that you are looking for there. Because the atmosphere, it's so enriched, you cannot miss it. Because I don't know, it's just a, I don't know how to explain it. I don't know how to explain. You have to feel it. You have to be there and you feel it yourself, because there's no word to really explain that atmosphere, because it's just gonna help you in so many ways, doing the mind shifting thing.
You know, that is the beautiful thing about Dr. Sunday. He, because he teaches that in the equation of success, you know, or getting any kind of results, there are three factors. There's the factor of the environment, there's the factor
Hmm.
of character, and knowledge. Knowledge is the least, and knowledge is just 10%.
Right.
The greatest of all the three is environment, and that is 50%.
Hmm.
And if there's anyone I know who is a specialist on creating an environment that is enabling and that will move people to becoming great personalities, is Dr. Sunday. And the good thing about it is that because he is a carrier of that environment, you know, you experience HMT on ground. I mean, you need to hear testimonies of people who, in their rooms, they are part of some of the mentorship courses that Dr. Sunday is doing right now, and they are
Right.
experiencing the very same thing you talked about. So
Yep.
they didn't even come. They didn't even come. They didn't even have to travel to Kiev. Just in their room, on
Hmm.
Zoom or whatever platform we're using, and just the very same thing you're talking about, they experienced it, because you know that's just something that comes with Dr. Sunday, who was, I mean, yes, mastered that, and God has really helped him on how to create that kind of environment that you don't have to
Mhm.
even come to Ukraine to experience it. Just you need to just be in that environment, either in any of the mentorship courses, and you'll be able to experience it. And I'll talk about these courses maybe at the end. But I want to ask you one question right now. Now you're living a purposeful life, an intentional life. Can you describe that to us, so for our viewers to understand what you're doing right now? What are the fruits that you are, bringing out right now?
Okay. Since I started following DSA, like I told you guys, I went back to school for the second time. I did the nursing. I went back to school because I found that that was not enough. Because now I know that I was called to work with drug addicts, like alcoholic. Because that also I found out when I went to the history maker training. I found out like, whoa, that kind of highlighted that there. So it's like, so now what I'm doing, like, first of all, I do a daily broadcast. But since I'm working on some development right now, so I'm not doing a daily broadcast at the moment. But I used to do like daily broadcasts, 7 days a week. I come out.
Where do you do those broadcasts? I know, but I'm sure our viewers don't know.
I have my YouTube channel, which is Matilda Susan, and also I have my Facebook page, which is Matilda Susan. I also have one, the Cast Empowerment. The Cast Empowerment is a project that I'm working on in Sierra Leone right now.
What
Cast,
empowerment?
it's called Cast, KEYC Salon. That's
Okay.
another Facebook
Okay,
page that I
K's.
have.
Okay,
Yeah,
KEYC.
yeah, Salon. Because I'm working on a project also in Sierra Leone, like helping the youth. Because I found out that I was supposed to help the youth and also the drug addicts and people of those that aspect. So right now I do my daily broadcast, not currently. Also I'm working on a project where I'm will be able to open like a rehab center here in Thunder Bay to help the drug addicted people. So I'm working on that project right now. Even though I'm working on
Beautiful.
the project because I want to have my own project, I don't want to work off people
Yeah.
because right now I'm working off of people. I'll go and volunteer my time, even like volunteer my time and work with them, like because there's a program that DSA have that I'm trying to implement here in Thunder Bay. So I still do it, even though I don't have like my own place, but I still go out to the people there and I help them through that. That's one thing that I'm doing. Um, the other thing I'm doing, I go back home in Sierra Leone and also hold like some kind of like a mini history maker training where I help youth and children how to discover themselves, how to discover who they are and why are they here. So I do that program also in Sierra Leone whenever I have the chance to go there.
Good.
So that also I do. Also I bought like an acre, like 1.3 acre of land right now in Sierra Leone that I'm hoping and God willing to design it into like a training center where
Beautiful.
I will train youth in Sierra Leone, equip them to discover who they are and how to live a purposeful life, just like I've discovered how to live a purposeful life. So those are all the things that in the pipeline right now that I'm working on. Some of them are already working on, but I will really want to have my own center that I've not been, that you need money for that, you need all of those resources and trying to work on that, how that can happen. But even though that won't stop me, I still will work with whatever I have right now. So that's what I'm doing right now until the bigger project comes. So those are the things that I'm doing, and reading more books of DSA and empowering myself more, and also helping women out there like they're going through the same thing that I went through. Say, hey, there is a way out of this. You can be better. You can be good. So all of those things, that's why I go on my daily broadcast, get some of the information that I learned from DSA and try to tell them, hey, here is some answers. These are answers that will help you to become better. Yeah.
To hear. I mean, I mean, for me, it's just amazing to see the kind of transformation, to hear, testimonies of people who, I mean, just like you now, you're just all about yourself, trying to fix your life, trying to do this, do that. And now all what you're saying is just all about how you are solving the problems of people and the
Mhm.
society. So now you're
Right.
living, not just for yourself. Now you're living
Mhm.
for others. You're living to solve the problem of not just the people in Thunder Bay where you're based, but also in Sierra Leone, having conferences there, seminars, trainings, impacting the youths, having visions to, set up training centers. I mean, this is life.
Yeah.
This
This is
is
like
life.
I I I I just started living. I thought I was
Wow.
living before,
Wow.
but I was like, nah, I was just not living at all. But now I have something to look forward to. Now I started living, even though I've lived how many years on Earth, that was just a waste. Now I started really living my life.
Beautiful. Well, I want you to just speak to our viewers who are listening right now. You know, the more I listen to and I hear the testimonies of people, I just, the more I see the importance of this mentorship course that Dr. Sunday is doing, which is called the Who Am I, Why Am I Here? It's like that is the very first question everybody must answer. Just listening to the testimony of Ms. Matilda, I mean, I'm just compelled again to just tell people that, hey, you don't have to live a wasted life. You do not have to. I mean, you can discover your calling, you can discover your purpose. And Dr. Sunday has designed a whole course, to just hold you by the hand and take you, just on a daily basis. It's taking you step by step to help you discover that calling. He's not telling you this is your calling. No, you would do the discovery yourself. He's just giving you the tools to help you, to show you the signs, everything. So if you're there and you want to discover your purpose today, you can. You don't have to wait till tomorrow. You can do it as a matter of fact today. So you're going to see the course right now on your screen. It's called the Who Am I? Why Am I Alive? Who Am I? Why Am I Alive mentorship course. This course is available right now for anyone who's interested. It's a paid course, so you have to write to us at mentorship@godembassy.org. You can discover your calling. It is not rocket science. We have heard the testimony of Matilda, and that should inspire you to live a purposeful life. And of course, apart from the Who Am I, Why Am I Alive, Dr. Sunday also has a training and empowerment program, a mentorship, which is called the Millionaires Mentorship Secret Group, Millionaire Secrets Mentorship Group. So if you're there, you want to learn the secrets of how to become financially free, and you want to learn how to become a millionaire, you can join this closed mentorship group by also writing to mentorship@godembassy.org. Right. And apart from this, I want us to see the banner for the DSA app. So Dr. Sunday is coming out very soon with an application, and this app is going to be a one-stop to everything that concerns and relates with Dr. Sunday. So the DSA app is coming out soon, and I want everybody who is listening, who follows Dr. Sunday, to please go to the Facebook, to the YouTube, and to every channel. Just be on the lookout for the DSA app. We're going to get that done, and just be on the lookout for that. All right. So that is DSA app, and it's called Vintage DSA. It's called Vintage DSA. That is it right there. So await the upcoming revolutionary platform, Vintage DSA app, coming soon. Coming soon. All right. So I'll get back right now to our beautiful guest of today to share our final thoughts, our final words, maybe to Dr. Sunday and to our viewers who have been with us right from the start.
Okay. So my advice probably that I would give to people that are watching is that I encourage you that you watch DSA, because DSA, I think DSA is a God sent to our generation to help us to get back in alignment with God, because a lot of us missed it. But He's here. God have prepared him for God have prepared him for us, right, during the wilderness, and He have prepared him. So now He's helping all of us that have gone like out of alignment and to get back. So listen to Him. Don't be judgmental, because there are a lot of people that listen to Him, they judge Him. Don't be so quick to judge Him. Listen to Him first. And once you've listened to Him and get what He's saying, it might not make sense in the beginning. What He's saying is like, ah, you're out of line, but listen to the end. Listen couple more, and you will find out you start things start making sense to you, and you start um and all the other thing I want to say, when you're listening to him, you have to have an open mind. You have to be having an open mind. And when you have an open mind, you receive whatever he's giving out. But if you don't have his closed mind, there's nothing that's going to go through you. You need to know that. And also, um, I would also like to use this opportunity, since we're coming to the end, also to wish Dr. Sunday a happy birthday in advance. Um, I pray that God will keep you for us, because we still need you. I know you always talk about dying, you're ready to die. I don't want you to die yet. I want you to live more and write more books for us to learn from all your experience that you've gone through. And I also know that strongly in me. Like the best is yet to come, even though you think that you've lived the best life, but I think the best is yet to come. And I know God is going to use you to do more things um, the time to come. So all I'm wishing, I hope that you and your family, I wish all the best for you and your family, and keep safe. And also, the one gift that I would like to end with is that the first time I met you in Ukraine, you spoke some things into my life that still resonate with me. That I'm gonna hold on to it. That is gonna be your gift. That you wanted me to help to other women. So I'm gonna hold on to that. That I will help other women. I'll make sure that I'll help other women to discover who they are and to live a purposeful life, like I like how I'm doing right now. So that's what I will say to you, DSA. So thank you, Dr. Anu, for having me here, and God bless you. And I'm so honored to be here. And thanks for everybody that's been watching. And God bless you guys. I hope you guys learn from my story and you use it, and you will have the same results that I'm having right now.
You for being so gracious. Thank you for, sharing your life with us. Thank you for sharing your testimony with us. I believe that people have listened to you, and I'm almost confident that they've learned at least one thing or two from your story. And to our viewers who have been with us right from the start, I want to say thank you for being with us. It's been a wonderful time. And if you've not shared this link, I'd like to encourage you to please go ahead and share. Uh, to follow our guest today on Facebook, you just need to search for, I think her name is Maltida Susan, right? On Facebook. Yeah, so just search for Maltida Susan on Facebook and on YouTube. She has videos there. She does a lot of great products, great teaching. So you want to go there, follow her, learn from her. And if you lady there and you want to connect with her, I want to guess that Maltida wouldn't mind that. All right. Beautiful. So you can connect with her and then, make great things happen. So thank you so much for being with us. It's such a honor. Thank you for looking this good. I know you put
Thank
in
you.
definitely a lot of effort to make that, and I appreciate that. So we're going to be back tomorrow, same time, 7 p.m. Kiev time, 5 p.m. Nigerian time, and UK time for another testimony. You do not want to miss it. Have a wonderful evening. My name is Anu Ojo. Bye for now.